Your next option is something called Verbacaine, and it's usually paired with the over-the-counter things.
Hi everybody, Mo Davis, the Travis Outsider. If our medical system doesn't scare you enough, I'm going to share a bit more with you. So while in other countries, men get offered local anesthesia for an ultrasound of their junk pack, I just found out that an incredibly invasive procedure that I have in September coming up is completely basically non-sedated with the exception of a couple of pokey needles that give me local anesthetic, which in my file says I'm extremely resistant to. So I had cervical cancer in my early 20s and I've had a crap ton of colposcopy. I've also had an IUD inserted at some point after that. And long story short, the pain is so unbearable that at one point I did start convulsing during these procedures. And this is not uncommon. And long story short, as many of you know, I have talked about infertility before on here. I have talked about medical issues with my fertility, etc. And so they're going to do an exploratory procedure where they've already done them. Like, I just recently had one where they shoved a thing into my cervix. This is completely without anesthesia, without local anesthesia, without anything, without sedative, nothing. They've shoved it into my cervix to then put a dye into me and see if there was fallopian blockage. And now I am literally going to go get a procedure where, like, it's at colposcopy. So we know the procedure is going to involve some sort of weird ass amputation of my body. Let's just be real here. So they're basically going to shove a device again into my cervix, but don't worry, this time I'm going to get a couple of needles to make it slightly less horrifying, though I'm sure it'll be equally horrifying. And once they shove this thing into my cervix, they're then going to cut off a part of my uterus for, sampling, whatever. And explore in there to see if they see anything weird. Okay? It's one thing to be fully awake. Like, I've had 2 C-sections, well aware of what it's like to be fully awake, been there, done that. Okay, fine, whatever. But at least I had local anesthesia that worked. This time, it's not going to be the same. And so I didn't expect this when I got the phone call. I thought that this was a procedure where you go under because I have a relative who recently did this in Nova Scotia right before the pandemic. So within 5 years, I would say, maybe a bit more, and they were put under. And when she said that they were not putting me under, that this was just going to be in colposcopy with just a couple of shots, I literally was speechless. I could not speak. I just sat there with, I'm pretty sure my mouth, my jaw to the ground, just in shock. Now, kudos, I've only had to wait like 2 months for this procedure, probably because of my age. And sure, fine. Why the hell do women have to be made to suffer when the technology and the medication is there? Why? Somebody tell me this. Somebody tell me why women are being made to suffer. Like, we're not offered fentanyl. We're not offered Jack Bananas here. And we're getting parts of our body cut. And so that's where the Verbacaine comes in. She's like, well, the doctor's really good. Procedure's only going to be 15 minutes. Do you know how long it takes to traumatize a person? 1 second. 1 second traumatizes people, alters their life. 1 second. 1. So 15 minutes. 15 minutes sounds damn long when you're going through a traumatizing invasive procedure that already deals with emotional issues and physically painful areas. I was really calm, the best I could be. And then she's explaining, she's like, doctor really knows what he's doing. It's really not that big of an, and a little incision. I'm like, you're cutting a piece of my body off. Have you had colposcopy before? And the girl said, no, I have not. And I said, I have numerous times as a cervical cancer survivor who's been treated for cervical cancer locally. I've had colposcopy numerous times, and I can tell you it is never a small incision. I have had convulsions on the goddamn table. So all this to say, third world countries sedate women getting treatments. They do. Third world countries sedate women getting these kinds of procedures. Why? Because they're invasive and horrifying and traumatizing and horrible and painful and excruciating and should not be done like this. I do not think Betty paying her taxes is going to mind that a portion of her tax dollars goes to give another woman fentanyl or laughing gas or whatever the hell you can inject into a human being to slightly sedate them so that they're not as horrified. It's 2023 and medical services in Canada are barbaric. I said what I said. I'll keep you posted in September when I get the procedure. I have a feeling I'm not going to be very happy. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have a feeling it's going to be a long 15 minutes. But I know you guys already know what I mean, especially those of you with female genitalia. Anyway, have a great day.